Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
The general behind Niger's dramatic coup has declared himself the new leader of the country. Known as Omar Tiani, he staged a takeover which started on Wednesday when the Presidential Guard's unit he led seized the country's leader. President Mohamed Bazoum is thought to be in good health and still held captive by his own guards. The Interior Ministry of Niger's new ruling junta has banned all public demonstrations after supporters of the coup set fire to the ousted president's party headquarters. The coup has been roundly condemned by international actors including the African Union, West African Regional Bloc, the EU and the UN.
On Wednesday, Africa suffered a serious setback in its democratic gains as the aspirations of the people of Niger for constitutional democracy were subverted by an unconstitutional change of government that deposed Mohamed Bazoum, a democratically elected president. The Republic of Kenya joins the rest of the world to condemn in the strongest terms this unconstitutional act that subverts democracy through a coup d'etat and calls for the immediate release of President Mohamed Bazoum, who is reportedly seized by members of the Presidential Guard.
Egypt's president has urged Vladimir Putin to renew the deal allowing Ukraine to export grain at a summit the Russian president is hosting. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said it was essential that the deal be revived and called for an urgent solution to supply the poorest African countries. Russia quit the deal last week and has since bombed Ukraine's Black Sea ports. Mr. Putin said the West was not keeping its side of the bargain and has offered Russian grain to 6 African countries. Donald Trump has been accused of pressuring an employee to delete security footage at his Florida home in new criminal charges related to his alleged mishandling of classified files. The new indictment adds 1 count of willful retention of defense information and 2 of obstruction, making 40 charges in total in this case. Mr. Trump denies any wrongdoing. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis says Greece needs to take more steps to combat the effects of climate change as wildfires in the central part of the country continue, forcing more evacuations and an explosion at an ammunition depot. Powerful explosions were heard from the ammunition depot in the coastal town of Nea Agialos. The blazes across the country, which have been supercharged by strong winds and temperatures exceeding 40 Celsius, killed 2 more people in central Greece, taking the death toll from the fires to 5. A total of 36 local officials in South Korea are under investigation for the tunnel flooding earlier this month that killed 14 people. An inquiry launched 2 days after the tragedy found that officials had ignored multiple warnings of a flood ahead of the incident. Severe rains on the weekend of July the 15th had caused widespread flooding and landslides in multiple places. At least 40 people died in the disaster across the country. Typhoon Doksuri has made landfall in China, with mobile phone footage showing violent winds tearing roof tiles off a sports centre in the southeastern Fujian province. The typhoon is the second strongest to hit southeastern Fujian province since Typhoon Mentari in 2016 and has forced the closure of schools, businesses and the evacuation of workers from offshore oil and gas fields. The powerful storm is expected to continue to move in the northwesterly direction, but will gradually weaken in intensity. And North Korean state-run television has aired footage of a large military parade attended by leader Kim Jong-un and visiting delegations from China and Russia. The widely anticipated parade commemorated the 70th anniversary of the end of the Korean War, celebrated in North Korea as Victory Day. State media showed North Korea's latest intercontinental ballistic missiles, which are believed to have the range to strike targets anywhere in the United States. The highlight of the event was a flyover by new attack and spy drones.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.